Jackson bunch just broke the internet the other day with how many replays we saw of that 9-2-3. 3 different airs, all different to each other, which was unbelievable, and great tube riding as well. The water here for the basin coming from the Arabian Gulf with a pipe out there that brings all the water in here. It's very salty, so they actually filter it out to make the salinity similar to the Atlantic Ocean. Jackson whips it quickly on that Glen Manami. Wow, how quick and responsive. Drawing some beautiful hammers off the top, little air drops. His transitions are so clean, and even chucks the fins out. Another little fin fanging hack there. Perfect transition to connect those lines together. And now underneath it. Drives hard on the end section, fin throw reverse. Picks it back up and will slip on just that extra at the end, but that's not going to matter too much. What a great opener on wave number 1.
I mean, flawless approach there for Jackson. You just notice how he comes off the bottom turn. His back arm is always very close to his chest, keeping a good posture. And what that does is gives him that generated speed to just apply into the top of the wave. And even through those very tough sections, have a look at that back arm. It's always in front of him, kind of swinging it around, giving him that spark and energy for him to unload on the top. If I could be critical, that's the only turn he kind of missed time right there. Maybe getting a little bit ahead of himself. Didn't need that turn. Should be a little bit cleaner, but man, damage done. Great way to start. And
let's see if he's going to change gears for us or give us a bit of the same on that 9-2-3 from the other day. Holding that rail longer on the second turn. Now going straight up before the pit. That's a nice way to transition. Really deep there. Almost completely gone. Which is really hard to do on this wave. Little bonus cover up now out in front. Leans back, hits the lip, perfect flow into another jam off the top. Now just feeling the high line. Now the thing's gonna set up for the bowl. He's gonna ramp up, alley-oop, and lands in a hard part of the wave. Couldn't absorb the landing.
And there's nothing wrong with how he landed. It was all because of how he exited out of the water. Just a little bit too late. You could see he was eyeing it down after that, like right while that barrel was breaking. But damage was done before that, but he needed to finish in order to get a big score. Changing plans right there, not trying to go for that air right off the bat after the barrel, maybe because the wind's very strong right now, makes it a little bit trickier. You can see he's almost coming out of the barrel and kind of slow himself down. This is a beautiful turn. Pushing on the back foot, driving through it. And then right here, you're gonna see he start to aim it. Like he starts to measure how much he has to go forward or not, and he just hits it a little bit too late and under. And then what's that gonna do is just gonna launch him.
Ends up getting stuck. Now it'll be Rio Waida's turn. We got a taste of a wave system at the Surf Ranch Pro. Waida now starting with that climb. Sometimes that energy off that crumble is a little bit different in the wave pool system. Sometimes you think you're projecting and you'll sink. But he's been adapting well, drawing a long line there, then pulls in deep to that barrel section out the back. Real creative start for Rio. Throwing down a really good carve, good pace. Carve to slide and keeping his flow solid. Really extended his speed down the line to make that barrel. And reading that lip line well, a great big frontside snap, tail drift into reverse. Rio is spot on here in Abu Dhabi. So consistent. As you see the support from Indonesia there, Rizal hanging out. Funsi and Bronson as a wild card in this event, giving Rio some backup representing Indonesia. Let's take a look.
Are you kidding me? That's why I said you can't expect 2.7s from him. Look how much extension he got off that lip. Like if you see that from that first angle, Like, he was so far from the board, and not to mention, he regrouped it and got as deep as he possibly could in the beginning of that barrel. That's so much commitment and so much to lose on those two part of the waves right there. That was so impressive. And right there, he knows he did the damage, and he just needs to stick to his guns and play just play a solid surf right there. Nice, beautiful cover up, and then once again, hacks it off the lip and finish it off that reverse that he's been doing lately on his runs on the right-handers. But that layback, look at that bottom turn. It's gonna extend that back foot right there. You can see it. The nose of the board is trying to dug right there, but he somehow just leans on his heels and comes out with speed. It's so easy for you to get caught, and look at that. It seems like he's gonna get stuck right there. We mentioned how sticky that lip is once he hits you, but he barely manages to get under. Takes the water off his eyes just there for a second, just for the sake of it. And then comes out and just starts unloading. Just right there, he knows exactly the risk was taken on the wave, and he just needs to be solid and finish it off strong. And that's why I expected him to have 2 sevens on his runs, both on the right and the left. And I personally think this is going to be higher than a 7, because that was incredible from Rio. That was incredible surfing, excellent surfing.
Definitely bringing more into finals day. What an opening ride for Rio Waida. And even this finish was insane. Perfect timing, fins out, hits it again for a bonus turn. First Indonesian to be full-time on the championship tour. Also competing in the Olympics. Said when he first started surfing, he actually didn't like it. He was scared of the ocean, but that was when he was really little. Look what he's turned into, one of the best on the planet. Nice vertical right there. Looking calm, great pace. His surfboard from Sharp Eye looks perfect for the pool. Really put a lot into the lip there. Staying in the critical part of the wave. Big fan off the tail. And now pulling in, he's going pretty quickly, will get nice and deep. Draws hard for a hammer of a finish. And Rio is just the most consistent guy over the last couple of days, just making no mistakes. Coach Reynos Hayes is having a very solid event as a coach. Also working with Italo Ferreira, who's coming up in Q3 with Kanoe Igarashi. Back-to-back waves for Rio. Incredible. Let's take a look.
I mean, how do you even criticize anything about this wave? That's like such a clean surf and solid. And how important it is what he's going to do right there. He's going to, the timing and letting the board glide and generating speed after that first barrel to get in a good rhythm. If I could only be picky on something, that's the only little catch he had on that wave. But besides that, that's just top-notch surfing for Rio, and just finish it off strong and exactly what we expected from him. 2 sevens banked right off the bat. 7.83 for the first ride, and this is going to be a very good score to start. Applying a lot of pressure on Jackson Bunch right now on this next few rides, because he's going to have to go to town and perform big, mostly on the left. Look how much amplitude, how much power, sure-footed, know exactly what he's doing. No wobbles. Nice and deep right there in that section, and this is just a cherry on top, you know. Gets vertical once again and finish it off with the reverse. On the flatter section, but hey, damage was done. What else can you ask from the guy, you know?
What a read and a great flex. You earned that, Rio. He's learned so much, and it didn't always come easy.
What can we expect from him in the next few runs?
Jackson Bunch had an equal 17th at Pipeline. So improving at least to an equal 5th, but he wants more. 2 great turns to kick this off. Perfectly placed snap again. Whipping it in the critical part of the wave with a free fall. Little Machado, little Kalani Robb, but he's got his own intentions too with how creative he can get. Changes gears there with the snap to slide. Recovers under the lip, a tough one to make when you're that late to pull under the hood, and his right will end, and that was his last chance for improvement.
And that's why that blow tail on their backhand, swinging on the same side, not reversing it all the way, is very tricky. It usually puts you out of rhythm. I love how he went for it. He had you. He had already a 6-1-7. Start of the wave was a little bit more on the iffy side. He lost a little bit of time and had a little bit of a downtime. But look how beautiful and explosive that maneuver is. One of the hardest maneuvers to do on surfing, and most of the surfers really appreciate. Usually puts your foot off balance, like it moves your foot around, so you have to regroup, and it's very hard to do it. So as soon as that happened, he went for that floater and then got a little bit late.
And here comes Bunch. Coming down to this, needs an 8.73, driving into a nice clean carve. Pushing hard through the lip. Total control, great start, slams on the brakes, nice mid-face stall, real low stance to keep on threading the needle here. Back into daylight and throws the tail, aggressive attempt there, but he knew he had to go for it. His coach, Gabe Garcia, knew that's what he needed to really lean into.
And that's the problem of the line here. As much as the wave's going to be pretty similar, one different maneuver can set you up a little bit later, and you can see with the situation of the transition from the barrel to that air attempt that he had. He went a little bit too early. As you see, it goes to the bottom turn a little bit too much in that section. It's like probably a foot in front of him from the previous air he had on that section yesterday. So what that does, it kind of launches him a little bit into the flats and keeps that board away. Instead of going upwards, he was going more down the line on that air. Because of that lip, he had to adjust for it. But what that does, as soon as he lands, you're going to see the rail, the inside rail, it's engaging and kind of sliding down the line.
You know, that wave never would have made the CT, but with this technology, pretty awesome.
It's crazy to think that we got this far at this quality of wave.
Rio will just get to enjoy the ride here. Gets out in front. Hey, why not? Just draw a big carve and a rebound and throw a 3-0 there and sink.
Saving energy.
Ah, smart move.
Yeah, yes. I mean, if you think about it already, like you're going to surf 4 waves, you have the adrenaline, and then you have semis and finals in front of you.
And you'd think the amount of waves they're riding in a day doesn't compare with what they would do in the ocean, but it just goes back to show you how demanding this wave is. For a normal surfer, they're kind of automatically going to cruise and catch their breath, but when you're at this level, you're pushing at every single section, and you're going to be gassed at the end of your ride. So Rio's going to take a break. He already into the semifinals, where he'll get to have another great rematch with Ethan Ewing. Back for more on finals day after this. Of the World Surf League Championship Tour. So guys like Rio, Jackson Bunch will be able to drive up to Nazare and check out that scene as they prepare for the next event. Rio just taking a nice, easy stroll on the left, and it's such a smart move. He's so confident. He's just owning his ability now. Yesterday, he's like, hey, I'm surfing 3 rounds tomorrow. It wasn't like, oh, I'll see how I do in the quarters. He was planning on being in the final today.
Should we next time talk to him and maybe jump on that wave?
Yeah. It is painful watching an empty ride, isn't it?
I mean, but I understand him. He has to do that. Like, he's thinking about winning the event and he has to save energy. Smart of him.
We'll put you in the right place at the right time, help you get the wave of your life. He's there supporting Rio Waida. He's here supporting his, what we call in Hawaii, a Hanai son and Bronson Mady. As we look at the results, great work for the rookie, Jackson Bunch, building off his best results so far.